You ever like think about 90s cartoons and Rocko's Modern Life where like Dilbert or Elbert or whatever his name is, the turtle was putting mustard under his armpits? The
No.
acidity of the mustard would burn your armpit hairs.
No, I can't say I ever have.
You never thought about that? I was
Nope.
just thinking like, you can't really put mustard in your armpit because that shit doesn't work. But what does work is when we get together each week and we talk about the shit that we don't want to talk about on our other show, The Nerds from Work. So we cover it in the pre-show. So with that,
Yeah.
you're gaining skills.
Working on it.
Go ahead and gain 30 experience points,
Boom.
and that's how you do it.
Hell yeah.
So, Tank, this week,
Jason.
let's talk about some real confusing shit.
What the actual Iron Fist, bro? Oh my gosh.
Are you just gonna replace the word "fuck" with "Iron Fist" from now on, or
No, just today, because
okay?
you've been yelling at us to finish the show, the season. I finally finished it today, and I'm so confused. Like they left so many questions, and it doesn't make any sense. And we need to get into it because comic book stuff. So I need to know if any of this stuff is real or if it's what they're doing for the show.
So,
and should we say spoiler alert? It's been out for
it's been out, and
for a couple weeks.
I don't think we're gonna go too deep in the spoilers. So I mean, because we only have 15 minutes.
Sure.
So, all right. So Iron Fist season 2 came out on Netflix early September 9th, I believe, or September 7th, something like that. Earlier this month.
Yep.
Came out. I binge watched the entire thing, and Tank and the rest of the guys were like, well, I don't really know. And they were kind of iffy about watching it. And that is a solid thing because season 1 blows.
It's a little rough.
And season 1 blows. So I heard that the martial arts was going to be a little bit better. And it is.
It was.
But it left so much stuff where I'm just like, for a long time, and I powered through. I had to power through. And I told Tank time and time again, doesn't really matter. You're at episode like 4, just push through. Because I'd say like the last 2-3 episodes kind of tie everything together for the first 2 seasons and kind of make sense of a lot of things. And when I say make sense, let me go ahead and preface this. It does not mean it makes normal sense like an Avengers movie. Or even that kind of like suspended disbelief. It makes sense of like, okay, well, at least you're catching on like about your show and what the fuck our problem was with it. So Tank, please.
So I want to say first that the second season's only 10 episodes, which I actually appreciated because a lot of the complaints for a lot of the shows, not just Iron Fist, is that they're always a couple episodes too long. So I like that they slimmed it down just a hair. And then, the martial arts was a little bit better. I noticed that from episode 1 of season 2. I was like, okay, at least the martial arts is better this time. As a martial artist, that really pissed me off. As a Chinese, martial arts practitioner, it really pissed me off. But yeah, I mean, but then you're right. You get to the last couple episodes, and you're like, okay, well, this one thread makes more sense now, but these other 6 threads, I have no fucking clue what's going on now, and I don't know. I want to watch more, but it also pissed me off because there's such big questions.
So I will say this: if they came out with let me ask this: if season 3 was dropping next month, would you watch it?
Yeah, because of all the damn questions they opened up.
Okay. So
I didn't say it wasn't smart marketing. I said it pissed me off.
Oh, yeah. So I will give a skeleton of a layout of what's going on in season 2. So that way everyone that hasn't seen it kind of has an idea what we're talking about if they're not going to even watch Iron Fist season 2, then at least they know kind of what's going on. So it picks up, and Danny has moved back to New York. Him and his quote-unquote brother are now like best friends, and they shoot the shit and they laugh together or whatever. But the sister is still kind of
Meacham brother. Okay.
Yeah, the Meacham brother. And then the Meacham sister, Joy, she's fucking crazy.
Is like at the end of season 1, we see Davos sit down at a table with her in Paris. So
Right. So they were actually plotting against Danny because both of them feel like they were wronged by him. Because Danny broke her family up, and Danny took the Iron Fist from Davos. So Davos's plan is to get it back, and he's going to steal it from Danny. So I thought this was really, really cool for Davos, like to build Davos's character. Because in the first season, you don't really know a lot about him. Mm-hmm. But in this season, like so much is happening with his character that if you don't pay attention, you're going to get lost.
Yeah.
Like Davos is deep.
He's a major, I mean, he's in I think he's in every single episode in the season. So
yeah. And they actually, personal opinion, they flesh out Davos more than almost anyone else.
Yeah, probably. Especially, I give you that. Because even the first season, I mean, we get a little bit about Ward and a little bit about Joy in the first season. But they go like heavy-handed with Davos this season.
I meant just this season. Like, for character development this season, Davos was heads and shoulders above everyone else.
For sure.
So it starts out with the flashbacks, and God, I hate flashbacks. But these were actually pretty decent because the martial arts was mostly the flashbacks, and the fight between Danny and Davos for the chance to fight the dragon, that fight was awesome.
That was actually a pretty good fight.
That was a good fight. Danny uses trickery, what Davos thinks was trickery to win, and cheats him out of the Iron Fist. So then it was like a huge confidence crusher for Davos. Like, he was so broken because his mom, like you see it from the very, very first one, his mom thinks you're going to be the Iron Fist. There's no way you're not going to be the Iron Fist. You know, you're going to bring honor to this family by being the Iron Fist. And when he doesn't do it, his mom just like disowns him.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, contacts are drying out. So the Iron Fist was a big thing for Davos. So he steals it from Danny. He gets a red Iron Fist instead of Danny's yellow one.
Yep.
And the colors, I think, actually mean a lot. Like, I think.
Sorry, I was going to let you finish that.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Because kind of going with that, without giving away too much, the colors mean even more the farther end of the show you get. And so, because like, Davos gets a red fist. And so you're like, okay, that's neat. It kind of separates them. And then some more stuff happens, and you're like, okay, now the color of the fist really starting to make more sense.
Right.
It gives you insight into the character.
Right. In my opinion, I think the color of the Iron Fist is kind of like Green Lantern, right? Like it represents what's the strongest emotion.
Yeah, like driving, factor.
And yellow might be will, because Danny has that in spades. You know, he's always trying to do the right thing. He just falls short.
Yeah.
And Davos is red because he's powered by rage.
Yeah, just pissed off.
Like all the time.
Yep.
So, that happens. And, I mean, it was really cool to see what Davos did with the fist, because in his own way. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, the fact that he, from a pure utilization standpoint, was able to use it better than Danny almost immediately.
Right. Yeah.
Which I found very interesting.
His family trained him in it, because even Danny, when they were little, Danny said that Davos would get the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of that mentality of like, oh, you're going to be the star. You're going to be the star. You're going to be the star. Well, then I was never prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, two people, you're always going to be your first string quarterback, Well, come game day, I'm better than you. I end up being first string, and now all that pressure, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that weird. And then when you get to throw the ball,
right,
you know exactly what to do.
Yep.
So that didn't really bother me. I thought it was cool.
I found it very interesting.
And I love the fact that he was so driven that like he was blinded, like straight blinded by his devotion to his cause. He was just killing everybody.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like everyone. When he killed that restaurant owner,
dude, that was like the turning point. I think. I think that's when you see, like, up until that point, you almost want to give Davos the benefit of the doubt. Like, yes, he's doing terrible things, but you kind of see why he's doing it. And then that happens, and you're like, okay, nope, he's off the rails. He's completely, he's lost it now. So, and you're like, okay, I feel like that was a turning point for the show and for that character, going forward.
Well, I think it's funny that you say for the show, because I think after that point is when the show, like, it was in that lull.
Yeah.
And then that happened, and the show just went
straight
up. And it was like edge of your seat after that moment. So what was that? That was like episode 9 or 8.
8, I think, something like that, yeah.
Is the end of 8 or like right at the beginning of 9?
Yeah.
And after that, it would just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And so from there, right around the same time, Danny has hatched this plan on what they're going to do to get the Iron Fist back. And he talks to Colleen, and he says, you need to take the Iron Fist, which, to my knowledge, never happened in the comics.
Okay, that's what I was curious about. One of the things I was curious about.
So when he said that, in my mind, I was like, okay, because she turns it down.
Yeah,
she's like, I'm not going to do it. But then, like, at the literally one episode from where he said, he says that at the end of episode 8.
Yep.
At the end of episode 9, she says, okay, let's do it.
Right.
Like, I'll take it. Or no, at the beginning of episode 9, she does it because she gets it at the end of episode 9.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, And so when she said, I'll take it, and it's episode 9, right? I was like, this is how they're writing out Danny Rand.
Like, I had the same thought. I was like, they, because people were so pissed at him in the first season. And while he did better in the second season, were they still going to pass it on to Colleen, who I thought was a much better fighter in this season than last season? I saw she had a huge jump. Like, when she fought the Crane sisters, I was like, that was such a cool fight for her.
That fight was amazing. And
dope.
And like, okay, so Misty, right? Misty's been in Luke Cage. She's been in Iron Fist. She's been in the Defenders. She's been in all these series. Excuse me. And she's always like real badass.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Misty's badass. And then she fought next to Colleen, and you're just like, damn, Misty, where'd you learn how to fight? The toilet
Misty has like a Street Fighter boxing, kind of scrapper mentality, and Colleen's just like all technique, just wrecking people.
Colleen Wing wrecked shop.
Dude.
Like,
so
this season, she wins the beat down.
Which is why it was not that hard to be like, okay, she's going to be the Iron Fist next. They're going to go ahead and just give it to her, let her run with the show, and be done with it.
And that was honestly my thought until the last 2 seconds or 2 minutes of the show.
Exactly.
We'll get to that. But when they give it to Colleen, as Tank was saying, like a lot of things start to make sense towards the end of the show because she gets the Iron Fist and it's white.
Yeah.
So what do you think that represents?
I mean, she's like almost like pure of heart. Like she's really she probably has the best intentions for the fist.
Yeah. I think so Danny thinks that he's not ready for the fist. He's like, I've got a lot of, things that I've got to figure out in myself before I'm ready for the fist. And so he gives it to Colleen because she knows what she's doing.
Right.
Not just with fighting, but she knows what she's doing, like
with her place in the world. Yeah.
Her place. So to me, that was really interesting that she got the white. And that's when the colors started to make sense to me. Was like, oh, yellow, red, white. Like, okay, now it makes sense.
Yep.
And she didn't use it the same way as, like, she had no idea what to do with it.
Right.
So, to me, that was really, really cool. And to watch her at the end of the show, that was amazing.
Are we going to give that away? Because we got to start wrapping it up.
Yeah. So she beats Davos, blah, 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 whatever. But at the end of the show, where she has it and she uses it, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Where she has the sword and the sword turns white.
Dude. And then the fact that, since we're going to give stuff, I'm gonna put a spoiler alert on top of this. When Danny all of a sudden he has it back and then sends it through the bullets in the gun. What the fuck? Like, is that a comic book thing?
Yes. So the Iron Fist before him, his name is Orson Randall. So that's why when he said, I would like to see Mr. Randall, I was like, wait a minute, like Orson Randall? And he was like, he's like, he wants his stuff back. And he's like, yeah, I've got something. These? And he pulls out the two 1911s. That's what the Iron Fist before Danny Rand used. Because he was also a white man. And he was from World War II. So he had two 1911s.
Yeah. And
he trained with those. So to me, a season 3 of Iron Fist is going to be so good because now Colleen has learned how to utilize the Iron Fist, which she demonstrates when she pulls the power through the sword or the katana.
Yep.
And now Danny has the fist back,
somehow.
But he has it through the pistols like Orson Randall.
Dude, that's the piece that I was like, the whole season I was like, okay, fights are better, story's not bad, things are going well. And then like the last 10 seconds, I was like, holy shit, I need season 3 right now.
Yeah. So last thing, then we'll wrap it up. The reason that it all came together for me was when Davos looked at Danny Rand and said, you don't know your path. Like you do all these things, you do all this, but you have no idea what you're doing.
Which was kind of the conclusion to what Danny was telling Colleen. Like, I was only ever doing this just to have the fist, just to have a thing to go for. So,
which I think went deeper than that, and the writers realized that in season 1, there was really no point. And in season 2, there was really no point. So now I feel like they've come full circle. They're like, hey, we hear you. We hear the fans. We're going to give them something. Like, there's going to be a bigger story for Danny Rand and Colleen Wing. And with that, I am extremely excited for season 3. So,
yep, I'm down, man.
All right. Iron Fist. Got it out of the way. Oh. Nice. You guys check it out. It's on Netflix. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to get our asses to the other show. Peace.